Hello, and welcome to today's video. We will review the Lionel American Flyer and Lionel O-Gauge diesel and steam sound boxcars. Sound boxcars have evolved over time. Starting out in the early 90s, these cars had sounds for steam engines and diesels that could add some realistic sounds to locomotives that didn't have any sound systems built within. This enhanced operations with a various wide range of sounds. And when more sounds were added to later models, these cars were upgraded, and it made these cars likable among the young and the old. These sound cars brought us the sounds and technologies in freight cars that we see today. I have two sound cars in O-Gauge, and as you can see here, the Southern Pacific and the Railway Express Agency. The Southern Pacific is the diesel sounds, and the Railway Express Agency is the steam sounds. My father has two sound cars in American Flyer. The Great Northern is the steam sound, and the Union Pacific is the diesel sound. And this review will cover all the cars. We will start off with the older cars, which are the O-scale cars. So, the first thing we'll talk about is the steam car. The steam car is the earliest car that is in my collection. It is a Railway Express Agency steam sound car. This one, produced by Lionel in 1992, is basically the first generation sound car for model trains. So now I have the underside of the car, and to start off, this car was purchased from another individual, so he took some good notes and marked what was off and what was on. So currently there is a switch to turn off the sounds, but the whistle and the bell sounds will still go, and then there's a volume pot right here. On this car it's the same thing, sound switch, and then the whistle and bell only switch, and then a volume pot. Before we go any further by demoing the sounds, I will be demoing the sounds for the O-Gauge cars first before I start the S-Gauge portion of the review. These box cars do require a 9-volt battery. You don't need to run them with 9-volt battery. It's like the sound systems in the Legacy or TMCC models. However, it is recommended you put a sound box. Before we go any further by demoing the sounds, I will be demoing the sounds for the O-Gauge cars first before I start the S-Gauge portion of the review. These box cars do require a 9-volt battery. You don't need to run them with 9-volt battery. It's like the sound systems in the Legacy or TMCC models. However, it is recommended that you put a 9-volt battery in these box cars, because if you go over a section of track that has a dead spot, the sounds will cut out. The other thing is that when you start up the box car, it'll start up without a 9-volt battery. But to have the shutdown sequence play, you must have a 9-volt battery in there to have the sounds shut down. Before we play with the sounds, I want to let you guys know that I will not be running these cars around the layout. I'll be running them back and forth. However, I'll be running the S-Gauge cars around the layout, and it's because I want to get you guys to see the S-Gauge trains running in action. So we will start off with the steam sound box car, and just to let you guys know, this is older technology. So the sound set is not the greatest in the world when this car came out. And also another friendly reminder is to clean the wheels on these sound cars as well, because not only are they like engines where they need to be cleaned and maintain better operating conditions, the pickup rollers can pick up dirt super easy on these cars. So I'm going to start up the sounds. We'll start off with the whistle. I'm trying, except for this video today. So I'm going to run it back and forth to simulate the chuffing noise. Alrighty guys, so we have the Southern Pacific car now on the track. This is the diesel sound car, and I will give you guys the demonstration. Now this boxcar does have a battery in it because my dad used it recently, so we will be able to listen to the shutdown sequence. And this car was produced in 2001, so this is a lot newer technology. As you guys saw, I had to move it just a hair to get the sound going, and I don't know if it's a pickup roller issue, but I'm going to work on it. And you can hear the RPMs racing up and down on it, so we're going to take a look at the horn. Here's the bell. And now we will see it in motion. And you can't hear the engine moving. There's just something about it. It's just the RPMs. And I believe it's because there is no actual reed switch under it, or the reed switch on this thing is pretty bad. Okie dokie, so now we are starting the S-gauge portion of this review. Obviously, the steam sound boxcar is the Great Northern boxcar, and the diesel is the Union Pacific car. Now, Flyer has been selling these cars for quite a long time, and the last time they sold these cars was around 2011 to 2017. Now, they're no longer selling these right now, and the hard part is just looking for them. And you can probably find them online, and you may be able to find them at your local hobby shop. You just really don't know. Both these cars were produced in 2014. So for those that do American Flyer, you guys know about how these cars work. And for those who don't know and never seen a Flyer car work before, let me explain something to you. I'm going to take this car for a second and flip it. Now, most of these cars, and it really depends on what type of car it is, you may have a rubber wheel or you may have a metal wheel. And I believe this whole car and the other car are done with metal wheels. And as you guys know, in O gauge, the middle rail is the positive and the outer two are the negatives. In S gauge, one of the rails is the negative and the other is the positive. So I've discovered that if you put these cars on the opposite direction they're facing now, so the brake wheel is backwards, so when the train is running, the boxcar will be going this way, so the brake wheel would be the second item to be put in the back. If you do it this way, the whistle and the bell sounds will work just as fine with the whistle and bell. However, if you flip-flop them, the bell will be initiated with the whistle, and the whistle will initiate the bell. Now, to show you guys the undercarriage of these cars, there is no switch to turn off the sounds and just have the whistle and the bell play. There is a volume pot down here, and there possibly could have been a switch, but the switch was never put in. Also, you guys can see here that there are some rubber pieces around the axle and this little sensor down here. And on this end, the reed switch is down here. And the same thing on this car as well. There is a couple differences between the O gauge and the S gauge car. Obviously, the size difference and the scale difference. But one thing I can show you guys is that these boxcar doors do open on this car. So I can move it, and it'll show you the volume pot, and you can kind of see it here, maybe not. There is a section for the 9-volt battery. Now, like I mentioned, on the O-gauge cars, you have to take the car apart. Now, if you are talented and you got baby hands, you can get in there and change the battery without taking the car apart. My dad does not put batteries in this car because he runs on layouts that do not have switches. Alrighty guys, so the power is now on the track, and I will demonstrate each of the cars so you guys can hear the different sounds. Start off with the diesel. So there are different sounds that you can hear because these two cars do have crew talk. So we do a simple sound.
Dispatcher here. You're cleared off the main. Over. Understood. I'm taking the green. Out.
Alright, here's the horn. And here's the bell. Now, obviously, since this does not have a battery, when you would shut down the track power, it would immediately go out. Like that. Alrighty guys, so now we got the Great Northern car on the track, and I will do the sounds for the Great Northern car. So here we go. The sounds are similar to how the diesel boxcar sounds works. So when I give a short toot, it'll do the crew talk, that kind of thing. Here we go. Here's the whistle. Here's the bell. Here's the crew talk.
Dispatcher here. You're cleared off the main. Over. Understood. Cleared. Outbound. Out.
And just like the diesel sounds, when the sound is cut off by track power, it'll go off immediately. There is no shutdown sequence. So there's no battery in the car, obviously, so once I kill the power, dead. Alrighty guys, we got the 293 on the track, and we're going to demonstrate the sounds. Here we go. This concludes the review. These are very nice cars to add to your collection, whether you collect O-gauge or S-gauge. These cars are not easy to find. The O-gauge cars are much better than the older ones. And I had a project that I started on that I won't go into that much. I ordered the latest O-gauge sound car in 2006. It was a 2006 model. And I took the shell off, and there was no battery holder in it. So the newer sound cars have it so you do not need a battery to use the sound car to prevent the sounds from cutting out. Now for those who want an S-gauge steam sound boxcar, there are two types of cars. The Great Northern one, which has the high-pitched whistle, and a lower-pitched whistle from a Erie sound boxcar. The Erie car is not that easy to find, so if you want a better whistle, that is the one you would want to get. Now, the train crossing in Costa Mesa, California might have some sound cars available for purchase, as my father picked up the steam sound car. But the Erie sound car may not be available. He has a couple Great Northern sound cars. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe. And please tell your friends about this channel, and I will see you guys next time.